Alrighty, folks, welcome to Hunting the Rut Hotline. Hey, folks, I'm Don Bell, Big Steve. He is out of town tonight. Normally, we do this every Thursday night. Of course, this Thursday night is Thanksgiving, so we're pre-recording this for you to watch. After you get all the family together and eat and get full and stuff, you can sit back and watch the show. Get ready to go hunting Friday, Saturday, this weekend. So, folks, it is... what's today, guys? Tuesday, before Thursday night for Thanksgiving. We are glad you're here. It gives us an opportunity. Obviously, it's during the day. No one knows that we're doing this today, so therefore, gives us a great opportunity to catch up on some stuff and also show you some stuff that's coming up. Hey, stay tuned. When we come back, we got a full show lined up for you. Be back in just one moment.
You don't like old milk. Deer don't like old urine. Brown and cloudy urine reeks of ammonia. Ammoniated urine means it's old, not fresh, and it doesn't fool deer. Top Secret Deer Scents, the only scent on the market that's oxygen-free from collection to bottle. It's yellow and clear because it's fresh. It's the only scent on the market that says a deer is here now and not last week.
All right, folks, that's not only holiday time, Thanksgiving coming up this week, but boy, you guys in the Midwest and Northeast, you're on the tail end of the peak of the rut. Don't be fooled. You're just on the tail end of the peak. You still got does that bucks are running some does that didn't get bred, and they're coming back in. So you still have bucks running does up there, and you still got a lot of good hunting left this season. Folks, we will remind you that coming up, and you'll see in the show here, that we are given a chance to win a free hunt to be able to come to Alabama and hunt with Steve, Mike, and I. And look, it's a simple thing to do. All you do is simply join the 1/10 of 1% club. And here's the way this works. You can win the free hunt with myself, Steve, and Mike, and you're going to be hunting with us in Dallas County, Alabama. Now, if you don't know where that is, you need to look it up. We're in the heart of the Black Belt. It's called the Golden Triangle. You have Wilcox, Dallas, and Lowndes counties where they come together. And in fact, I live about 10 miles from there. And it is just absolutely great for whitetail bucks. The Black Belt of Alabama is known. Everybody knows about the Black Belt. It is the place you want to come, especially late January when we're having this hunt, for you to be able to be into the peak of the rut in the state of Alabama. When everybody else is out of season, if you're up here in the Midwest and Northeast, man, after this hunt's going to be, the hunt will be January the 15th to the 17th, 2016. So everybody else's season's out. We're still getting into the peak of the rut. So it's a great hunt to be able to do it. Every bottle you buy of reserve, for instance, if you join the club and you buy either the buck or the estrus, you get a chance to your name goes in the chance to win the hunt. We've got a lot of all existing club members automatically are in the drawing. Some of our club members, you have bought a bottle of reserve estrus and buck. That means you got 2 chances to win. So everybody joining, even our current members, if you have bought a bottle, your name's in it. If you join the club between now and January the 2nd, you have a chance to win. But if you buy estrus or bottle, 2 bottles, you get 2 names. For every bottle you buy, you get names. Guys, this is a great opportunity to tell Santa Claus you want to join the club. Tell Mama that Santa Claus needs to come bring you a big bottle of reserve, and you might be that lucky one to win a hunt. Come down here in South Alabama and hunt the historic Black Belt with Steve, Mike, and myself, and we'll have a big old time. But join the club early, guys. Get it while you can get it. All right. Another thing we want to show you, we encourage people, guys, go to our website, topsecretdeerscent.com, and go to the trophy room, and you'll start seeing these bucks that's being killed with all of our products. It is, we're just tickled to death. Of course, all the hunters are tickled to death, and you see some of the stuff. They're going to throw up a couple of bucks here this week that came into us, and this is Mr. Smith out of Jonathan Atkins, it's Casey Shields out of Alabama. Too many names there. That's an Alabama buck. I'm not sure. I believe, is Casey out of the Prattville area? I talked to somebody the other day out of the Prattville area, but that's an Alabama buck, guys, and there ain't nothing wrong with that buck. That's a good buck. That's a good buck anywhere, but certainly representative of Alabama bucks. They're talking, and Casey, this gentleman right here, Jonathan Atkins, he's from Kentucky, right, guys? Got the right one. And Kentucky is just flat coming on. If you go to our Facebook, you're going to start seeing these Kentucky bucks show up. Of course, you got them from all over the country. Of course, Kansas is always well represented, but Kentucky is just, it's no longer a sleeper state. In fact, if you look at Mr. Smith's buck here, he's from Kentucky, and what's funny about this, now if you look at him, no, that's not Duck Dynasty there. That's Mr. Smith, and you just look at that buck. It looks like a cow laying there. Look at the size and the width of on those horns. But we really need to check with him and see how wide that rack is. But look at that. That's a 161 2/8 Kentucky buck. And what's cute about it, his wife sent this in and says, here's what happens when your husband steals your top secret foaming deer scent. He shoots a 161 2/8 Kentucky hammer. And she gives thanks to the people at Southern Chaos for introducing her and her husband to our great line of products at Top Secret. And so, Elizabeth, we appreciate you sending that in, and I'd tie his butt up, make him stay at the house, because he don't need to hunt no more. He done his shooting, I would think. But that, man, guys, look, if you go to Kentucky, historically, Muhlenberg, Christian, Ballard counties, everything west from Central City, if you're on the WK Parkway, western Kentucky, west, Paducah, all back through there, man, it's just great hunting. You're in Peabody Coal Company, owns a bunch of that stuff there. It's a bunch of reclaimed stuff. It is just great, not only whitetail hunting, but some great waterfowl hunting as well. But that Golden Triangle now, in fact, I just thought about saying that. That would be a good name for that too. It is where I-65 comes up to Elizabethtown, goes WK over, and where Green River Parkway runs north of Bowling Green there. So you got that Golden Triangle. And, buddy, it is coming on strong, and everybody's finding out about it, as you can see, and I'm sure Mr. Smith appreciates me telling people about that. But great hunting. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take some time today, and we're going to try to catch up on some of these Facebook questions. And guys, listen, we don't ignore you. We try to take them as they come in, and so this gives us an opportunity on the holidays to kind of catch up with you. All right, here's some website questions. And guys, we encourage you, keep in mind, you can call in, you can Facebook, you can Skype, you can what else, guys? Email, Facebook, write in. Hey, guys, you need to come in. Send us the questions. All right, here we go. Ryan's asking, and Ryan's out of Tennessee. He said he bought 2 scent our drip systems, our deer bladders, and the urine is brown. It looks like it has sediment in the bag. It's not yellow. I watched the podcast with Don. Said the urine should be yellow. Is this a bad batch of urine? And the answer to that is, Brian, yes. Any of our product, if it is not yellow when you purchase it, one or two things has happened. When we bottle, it's the first time it sees oxygen. Now, you're talking about a drip system. Which is amazing about that is, first of all, Brian, we will replace that. If you'll contact us, and we'll make a note here, guys, we'll reach out to you, Brian, and replace these for you if we haven't already done so. But when we put the urine into the drip system here, it is yellow. It's never seen oxygen. Can you see that in there, Chris? All right, it's never seen oxygen. But now this bag is a medical grade IV bag, so it has high tolerances. But occasionally, in fact, just before this conversation, guys, I had a conversation with, of course, with Buddy, who was telling me that he had one that in the corner here where the bag is pressed, it had a pinhole in it. And if it has a pinhole, it's going to have oxygen. We don't make that. So occasionally you'll get one that changes color, or if this valve is not tight, it might do that. We stand behind it 100%. You contact us, and we'll reach out to you Byron, and we'll replace this for you. But guys, all of our product is oxygen free. Now, though we pride ourselves in customer service, we're going to knock this out for you. We'll get it back to you. But what it does do, it illustrates without a shadow of a doubt that our urine is oxygen free, because it's not hard test to prove. It's either yellow or it's brown. If it's brown, it's gotten oxygen to it. Let's say the cap doesn't go all the way down, or if it's got a hairline crack in it, it's going to change color. And there's just no way around it. And that's what makes Top Secret so unique and so good. It's the reason why it's changing the industry. That's the reason you get stuff like the Smiths you see that big buck there out of Kentucky. They're calling in and thanking these television shows where they're seeing this, because it is such a dramatic change. Real simple test. Top Secret's a clear yellow. If you buy any Top Secret product and it's not a clear yellow, you call us, we'll replace it. It's either got a bad cap or a bad bag. So in the sediment in the bottom, probably what that is, not all the urine. Sometimes that's a natural process, and how can I say this with dignity? If you, kind of, when a deer goes, they kind of go, and so sometimes you got some sediment. Though a lot of that is out, no problem at all with that. The key, what triggered me, was brown, and it shouldn't be, but it proves our point. Oxygen free from collection of the bottom. We'll take care of that for you. All right, but by the way, that's a good question. And guys, look, I want you to notice when we walk in this room, we're seeing it. Because common sense would say, why in the Sam heck would you put something up on it that says your product's no good? Well, we don't. We put in what comes up. And that happens, and not an issue at all. We'll take care of it. Man, it's a great opportunity to show you, though, the difference between why it is yellow, Chris, and brown. The only difference between these two is that we opened this one, literally opened it and closed it, and that's what happens to it. Because once you put oxygen to it, it's going to change color. And that's what happened. If that bag had a pinhole in it, it sucked oxygen, it's going to change. And that's what everybody else has. Here's us. And look, what's great about that, guys, is when we meet everybody out there and they're hearing this, you're getting it. You're getting how important it is, and you're hearing us just like he did. Hey, I watched Don on the show, and he said it ought to be yellow, and it ought to be yellow. So you're hearing that message, and you're understanding it, and the results are all these big bucks being taken all over the country. So we appreciate you doing that. All right, we got a first Facebook. Kurt out of Wisconsin. Our post-rut hunting tips. What are post-rut hunting tips you would suggest? In Wisconsin, like I said in the opening remarks, the Midwest and the Northeast, you're on the tail end. Like if you were to go up a mountain, you're not on the bottom of the slope. You're just over the top of it, starting to ease down the top. I mean, you're 99% at the top still, but you're on the other side of the mountain. So you have committed. You're on the other side of the mountain, but you're way at the top of the mountain. So you still got a lot of good hunting going. The peak of the rut. Kurt, up there in Wisconsin, as you know, ain't got to tell you, is historically the 7th, 1st through the 10th, 15th, most of the time 7th through the 10th. Historically up there, it's just, it's very pronounced. It's there, it happens, it moves on. But the peak is when the majority of the does are standing. So not all the does got to be bred during that short window. So those that didn't get bred are still in. And then those does that didn't get bred or hadn't come in yet are going to come in, though it's a small number of them, because most of them are in here. That's the reason they call it the peak, because that's when the majority of the does are standing versus running. Now, having said that, those does that didn't get bred in peak, they're going to recycle, come back in. So you still have a good bit of the hunting season left to hunt. So the question is, how do you hunt it? You hunt it the exact same way you do during the rut. Prior to the rut, as we preached on this show, for a year and a half now, you use buck urine. Once you start using buck urine, you use it the entire hunting season. Just because the peak of the rut is ended, you still using it. Now, because the bucks are still smelling Old Spice cologne because they're still competing for those does that are in. Now, one of the things you want to recognize, of course, common sense says once they start chasing does, you use estrus. So, but what you do is you're using buck and estrus together during the peak, and you keep using it all the way to the end of season. Buck and estrus all the way to the end of the season, you want to grunt. Now, Kurt, one of the things you want to do is to realize, for instance, down here in Alabama, you can rattle up there in Wisconsin, and it's effective more so in some places than others, but down here in the South, it's more the tinkling of the tines. You go to South Texas, you can rattle sticks together and they'll run in on you. But what happens up there right now, Kurt, in Wisconsin, you can still rattle and grunt. And I don't mean clang them, you can click them. Now, a lot of you guys, we do these seminars and you start asking questions, how many people has had a buck come into them before, not only before this year even, climbing a climbing stand going up a tree, because what you hear is click, 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 click going up that stand, going up that tree, and what that deer is hearing is click, 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 click. And they don't care if it's two little teenagers fighting or if it's a big buck fighting. The difference is they're coming to see who it is and where they are. So the most aggressive time is the peak of the rut. Just after the peak, less does are in, so there's competition again. The best time to rattle, Kurt, is just before the peak. Very few does in. Everybody's fighting for those few does. During the peak, dude, they're standing everywhere. I'll get with you later and fight. After post-rut, what happens is those few does come back in, so there's competition again, and so what you want to do, it's more effective then. So the best time to rattle, Kurt, post-rut is your question. Don't be scared don't rattle so much, just tinkle the tines. Grunt, use your buck and estrus the same way you did during the rut. Use it right on consistently, right on through the last legal day you hunt in the state of Wisconsin, and you'll find some success. Not so much on your scrapes, though you can. You still make mock scrapes. Those bucks are still, as it winds down, they're not running as much as they are kind of paying attention to it. So absolutely, Kurt, stay with it the rest of the season. You'll be successful when it calls back. Let us know what you did. Hey, we'll be right back. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We come back, we'll cut it out again. Be right back.
Rise and shine. It's time to hunt.
Repel and kill the bugs that bug you most with the all-natural 100% DEET-free BioShield.
You've waited your whole life for this moment. Don't spoil your opportunity because of poor preparation. Keep your optics clean and fog-free for a clear shot every time. Fog Zero.
Introducing Scent Defense, a revolutionary 3-in-1 formula from Top Secret. Infused with antimicrobial silver copper synergy technology to attack odor before it starts. Fortified with NeuroX to attack and repel insects instantly. Scent Defense is specifically formulated to attract deer while simultaneously destroying odor. Scent Defense, the 3-in-1 formula for success.
Those things. All right, folks, we're back. What we're going to do, we're going to catch up with some stuff, what we're doing. We're still going to run out a little question and answer period time here. And guys, look, some of these questions are really pointed. Just a second ago, Kurt up in Wisconsin, that is relevant to where he is right now. Man, you still got a lot of season left. A lot of hunters, man, they live for the peak of the rut, and then they just kind of not like, you just kind of, here I am. No. Hunt You got to hunt it once you hit there and run it all the way to the end of the season. A lot of good hunting left up there. And all them big bucks that evaded everybody, all those bucks up there that went nocturnal, it's going to get a little more relaxed because it's not as intense, but yet they're still running them does. They're just not as intensely running them. So you got a shot to get back on that buck. All right. On a website question, Kurt's was a Facebook. We're back to website. Donnie Hicks is out of West Virginia, by God, West Virginia. And Donnie says, my wife purchased me a bottle of synthetic Hot Mama deer urine. He says it smells like perfume to him. Is the scent supposed to smell this way? I'm hesitant on using it because of the smell. Alrighty. Let me explain to you, first of all, Virginia. This past year, in July, the state of Virginia passed a law which really is just and of course I'm not the first one saying this, it's just one of those laws that is just misunderstood. They think that the deer, because it's natural with the CWD going around, that it's some way connected to that. Here's the truth. The scent industry is a very regulated industry. All the deer of the major scent companies are regulated beyond just unbelief. These deer are monitored on a regular basis, rotation basis, by certified vets, and the herds are separated. And so if you got X number of herds, you may have them in 3 different locations, totally separate from one another, keeping them all separate from each other. So it is a highly specialized industry, and it's a highly regulated industry, and some states just doesn't understand it. So somebody says, hey, let's do this, and it's a knee-jerk reaction. And I'm sure the people in Virginia appreciates me saying that. Here's the truth. What we have is, because of that, we created a complete line of synthetic urines. Now, Donnie's asking this. Now, Donnie, when the synthetic scent in the urine is not a direct duplication of the urine. What we do have in there, though, are very specialized stuff that attracts either the buck or the doe in a similar fashion. If you look on our packaging, it says oxygen-free from collection of the bottle. And the reason for that, some of the compounds that we use in that, if you were to just open it up, it would, lack of a better word, it would flee. And so you want to treat it the same way. We've got people that are killing some nice bucks with this. And Donnie, we've had 2 or 3 people call in the same thing. I had one guy call in and said, hey, I'm kind of hesitant about it. And time I called him, he was fixing to go out hunting that day. And so when I finally got him, he had already went hunting, killed a buck with it, and said, hey, never mind, I got my answer to my question. They love it. And that's it. It is the key is to understanding how to do it. And so we did it in a way that you could legally buy it in the state of Virginia, West Virginia. So I think the law reads that you can, maybe it's open for question, but my understanding is that you can legally buy regular deer urine. You can sell it. If you buy it, you just can't use it, which makes perfect sense, don't it? I'm from South Alabama, and that makes perfect logic to me, right? No, it doesn't. So we created a synthetic lure. You can do it. It's perfectly legal. In fact, if you go in the Walmart stores, it says synthetic, 100% synthetic, 100% legal to use. And yes, it's supposed to smell that way. Don't be scared. We stand behind it. You buy it and don't like it, we'll give you money back. Can't beat that. Check out the website and see the bucks being killed with it. Let everybody know, Donnie, that you can do it. Legal to use. Good stuff to use. Use it the same way. Estrus, peak of the rut, buck, same way pre-peak and post-rut the entire season. Once you start, use it the same way as you would do the other lures, but it's just designed in a synthetic way. All right, I hope that answers your question. Use it with confidence. Don't be scared, but it's not a bad question because it does have a nuance difference between the regular buck urine smell. All right, Aaron is from Jackson, Mississippi. We got us a Facebook question here. He wants to know, how many does a mature buck typically breed during the rut? Aaron, just as many as that bad boy can corner. And I'm not exaggerating to you. You know, if he can get 5, he's going to do 5. If he can get 10, 20, he's going to hit 20. Just as many as his little butt can run down and talk in to stop. And as long as he don't run into somebody bigger than him, he going to have a pretty good year on it. Directly related to buck-doe ratio. I'm directly related to buck-doe ratio. Let's say you're in Jackson, Mississippi, which is not a bad place to hunting. Anywhere outside of Jackson, you come, Aaron, if you were to come, let's say Jackson, if you were to come east and go back up, God, what interstate's that running north? Going in, anyway, go back north there, anywhere through there, man. You can not only get good, we come back up and hit 61, go north on 61. Anywhere up 61, man, is fine hunting. You're not only getting into good deer, you're getting into some bear. Aaron, you want to be able to, that directly related to buck-doe ratio. But just as many as his little heart can corner up and sweet talk to and get her to stop, dude, he's on to the next one. You know, he's promising the absolute. I tell people when a buck's chasing a doe, that sucker's, he's lying through his teeth. He's saying, baby, please, baby, look, I won't do it no more. I'll come home straight after work. I ain't going over there no more. You won't ever catch me over there no more, baby. I swear, if you do, please forgive me. Boom. He's on to the next doe. And he's on to the next doe. And it may be a different story, but he's on. And just as many as he can. All right. We got time for another top secret one. All right. We got another website question. And Mike Brown, he's out of Sparta, Wisconsin. Another Wisconsin man. He wants to know, how do I store my top secret foam scent from season to season? You're good to go with the foam. Don't open it. You open it, you might as well throw that bad boy away. You know, if you got a little in there, you're thinking, oh, let me look in it. Well, you can look in it, you're just going to mess it up. Don't open it, and you're good to go. With the 3-ounce bottle, this is the foam. You're good. You just keep, just don't open it. It's good. I wouldn't put it, Mike, in direct heat. In other words, not out on the carport, but if you keep it in a storage with just room temperature, you should be fine. You haven't got to put it in a refrigerator. If you got an old refrigerator, and I said a refrigerator that you keep in beer and stuff out in the man room, you okay. Don't put that in the kitchen refrigerator. Mama, it make the bacon stink. So, and it's not because it's leaking, it's just that if you got any on the outside, your bacon's gonna have a twang taste to it. So keep it a little different, but you should be fine. If you open this, the 3-ounce, you want to make sure that you use your scent saver system. Your scent saver system here, and vacuuming it out in between. You get a good vacuum on it, you're good. The key to it is don't put it in extreme temperatures. You do not have to freeze it. I would not freeze it. Freezing urine does not keep it from ammoniating. It simply freezes. Will top secret freeze? Yes, it will. It shocks people when I tell them that. And why wouldn't it freeze? It's 100% natural. So people say, well, can you use deer urine when it's 20 below, or 1 degree in Wisconsin, in Sparta? It's below 0 up there. Can I use scent? Well, yes. Yeah, but it's cold and it freezes. All right. Well, most people say that. They're thinking, well, it won't smell. All you got to do, Mike, is go get you this. Go to Walmart and get you one of them little pop-up ice trays. Pour it in there and put it in the refrigerator and freeze it. Open your freezer and tell me if you can smell it or not. It doesn't matter if it's frozen. You're going to smell it. Freezing it will not keep it from ammoniating. It won't keep it from ammoniating. So when people say, oh, my scent's in the freezer, okay, you got ammoniated scent in the freezer. It's not going to keep it from ammoniating. The only thing that's going to keep urine from changing to ammonia is oxygen. And top secret, that is what's changed the industry. We're top secret is oxygen free from collection to the bottle. We remove that, so the first time you put it out, Mike, is when it's going to smell and it says a deer's there. It's not complicated. Dark urine says a deer, was there. Clear yellow urine says the deer is there now. Now, if you're going to go to Sparta, Wisconsin, I'm not sure where Sparta is, but if you want to get up there and get up in a tree and freeze, you kind of want that deer to know you're there now, not you were there yesterday, this morning, last week. You want that deer buck to know you're there now, to come there now to where you can shoot the deer. So the answer to your question is, you're good to go on foam, on the liquid. Make sure that you pump it out and make sure everything's good. All right. Can we get an O? All right. We got a Fog Zero question. Lynn, all of you here, Montrose, British Columbia, Canada. Big Lynn wants to know, is Fog Zero approved to use on Leopold scopes? When you say approved, it's not approved by Leopold, but it's certainly good to use on any scope, any kind of optic. Even if you have coatings on it, you're good to go. You should be fine. One of the things that changes with our stuff is that a lot of guys will call and say, well, my scope's fog-free. Well, what they're telling you, and even if the scope says it's fog-free, it's talking about eternally. Any scope, $200 scope, a $5,000 scope, it will fog on external when it changes temperature. And it's the most aggravating thing in the world. I wear glasses, and you can go out of one room into the other and it'll fog on you. Now, what Fog Zero does, it not only cleanses it, but it will fog and defog. You'll see it go whoosh, whoosh, clear. It'll go fog, clear. You do it on one, the one I put it on is going to go fog, clear, and this one's going to be fog. So it's not a hard test to see. And boom, you can run the test yourself. Pretty neat stuff, very simple fix, very important fix. You can't shoot what you don't see. Can't shoot what you don't see. You're just shooting at what you think you see. The difference is Fog Zero allows you to see very basic in it. I mean, it's just, all good products are simple. Think about it. Oxygen free from collection of the bottle. Being able to see. Something that simple. $1,000 gun, $1,000 scope, and can't see that sucker. Put a gallon of top secret out, but run out you can't see, need some Fog Zero. Guys, it's in a little pen. Lord have mercy, think about this a second. We're going to knock you in the head for a whole total of $12.95. You hear me? $12.95. That ought to be in every backpack. It ought to be in the glove compartment of your car, your truck. Anybody that wears glasses, that's a cat's meow right there. Neat little deal. Comes apart. Those of you who's not used to what it is, this is a pen, $12.95. It does 200 usages. Watch this. Chris, can you see me? It breaks apart. It's a felt tip. The solution, it has a brush on it. It's that little brush right there. I put it in front of my shirt there. How about, all right. I'm trying to find a place where I can see it. See that brush right there? It's neat. That keeps the dust off the optic. You also have the smudge pad on it. Plus you have the lens cloth that's inside of it. Pretty neat. Put that back in there, close you up, and you got your closed system. $12.95. Everybody ought to have one of them. It's just a simple fix because, dude, dust, it gets dusty. You want to be able to see. I mean, just think about it. It's like spending all that money in the parade. Now, just think how much money you're going to get in that stand. New gun, new bow, scent, camouflage. Dude, you looking good riding in a pretty truck. Get out there and can't see that sucker. Now, that makes no sense. $12.95 lets you see. Call Fog Zero. So, Lynn, you're good to go. And can it be purchased in Canada? At this point that we're talking, it is not in Canada at per se at retail that we're aware of, though some dealers buy through U.S. distributors. We are in the process of preparations for Canadian Tire and Walmart of Canada for 2016. So we're going to take care of you for 2016 up early. And tell everybody about it. My Lord, tell the more you tell them to go by these stores and ask for it, and I guarantee you they'll get it in for you, and we'll make sure you get you some for 2016. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We come back, we're going to try to answer a few more of these questions. Be right back.
From Don Bell, the founder of Code Blue, comes Top Secret Reserve Doe Estrus, the finest doe estrus ever collected. Top Secret oxygen-free collection process is a complete generation above Code Blue. Our patent-pending collection process means no ammonia and no ammonia smell. At a limited quantity of 12,000 bottles, only 0.1% of hunters will be lucky enough to add Top Secret to their arsenal. Visit TopSecretDeerScent.com today and join the 1/10% club.
You know, folks, here at Hunting the Rut Hotline, we are pleased to be sponsored by Top Secret's 1/10% Club. Guys, the Top Secret 1/10% Club is a totally unique club in the hunting industry. The bottles that we have behind us here, we have 12,000 bottles of estrus, and we have 12,000 bottles of estrus, and about 1,100 to 1,200 bottles of buck urine every year. Now, this bottle of estrus, that's $100. You're thinking, good Lord, $100 bottle of deer urine? Folks, it's 26 ounces. Do the math, 26 ounces. You guys got a calculator in there somewhere. $100 divided by 26 ounces, and let me know exactly what it comes to an ounce. Let me tell you why it's a flat $100 bill. And if you notice, well, we don't even hesitate on that. What Top Secret is oxygen-free from collection of the bottle. What's in that bottle, you can't say does it work, because we literally pulled this buck off of this doe. The urine in this bottle, she was willing to stand, and this buck literally started to mount her. We pulled the buck, collected the urine. That's what's in that bottle. So it's 26 ounces, a $100 bill. You guys come up with the math on that back there? Folks, you ain't gonna believe this. We got two IT people back here, and they're trying to divide $100 by 26 ounces. 26. What's that? $3 and something an ounce. Let my red math do that. $3.80 an ounce. Now think about this a second. $3.80 an ounce. Oxygen free. It's never seen oxygen. Can't say it don't work. We pulled the buck off with the dang doe. 26 ounces now. So obviously, excellent buy. There's only 12,000 bottles. Ooh, you say 12,000 bottles, that's a lot of bottles. There's 12 to 14 million deer hunters. That means only 1/10 of 1% will even get one of them bad boys. Now, here's the way the club works. You say, you know what, doggone it, I want me one. I want my bottle of the best urine the industry's ever seen. Top Secret Reserve. 26 ounces, 3.4, 3.4, 3.5, 4-year-old doe. Never seen oxygen. Pull the buck off of her. There it is. Now, you join the club. Once you join the club, can't nobody take that away from you. It's sort of like buying season tickets at the University of Alabama. You buy season tickets at Alabama, hey man, I get to watch 50-yard line. I get to watch a game anytime I want to go. I'm tickets on the 50-yard line. You don't buy season tickets, you let this go next year, nobody can ever take it away from you so long as you renew each year. Nobody can ever get it. You've got that for life so long as you renew. If you ever forget, and you don't want to do that, because if you forget or change your mind and it slips your mind and it goes past the time to renew and you don't purchase it, then somebody else is going to be sitting on that 50-yard line with your bottle of deer urine, the best the industry's ever seen. It's called Reserve. You can join the club with estrus, or you can join the club by buying buck urine. Let me tell you, a lot of the club members, they'll hit that estrus and they'll turn right around and go get that buck. Get them both. And the reason for it is only 1,100 bottles of buck urine. 1,200. Why you say, well, why the heck so many less bucks than does? Think about it. The question was earlier, how many bucks can a buck serve? How many does can a buck serve? You don't need but about 10-12% of your herd to be bucks versus does, because they can serve as a lot of does. Bucks actually are harder to get than estrus, and we only have about 1,100, 1,200 bottles each year. So guys, get that. And like I said, I've said many times in this show, you put a gun to my head, I'm gonna grab buck urine over estrus, but I don't want to get my estrus up because I want to use that during the peak. All righty, do it. Join the club today. You can start joining for 2016, and let me remind you, and I want to be putting this up right now. but I'm overruled with the people back here. I can't put my Santa Claus promotion up there yet because it's not what? Thanksgiving. It's not even Thanksgiving. But doggone it, next week we'll have Santa Claus up there because, guys, Mama needs to buy you a bottle of reserve for Christmas as a hunting present from Santa Claus for next year. You literally can go online, she can go online and you can buy her a present, a bottle of reserve, and hit it in over 4 payments and say ship it to me in 2016. So you can join the club today for 2016 and have a Christmas gift to give Mama or Papa for this coming Christmas. All right, guys, let's see if we can go back in where we at on that. All right, let's see here. We are going back to questions. All right, we got Jacob Coons, and he is from Idaho. Do you guys notice I don't say where when I can't pronounce where it is in Idaho? All right, he's in Idaho, and Jacob wants to know, he said, I was wondering how your 3-in-1 field spray works with elk. Last year, the sweet bees ate me alive. Don't you love the way, Sweat. The sweat bees. All right, I said sweet bees. Sweat bees ate me alive. He says, FYI, sweat bee is a common name for various bees that are attracted to salt in human sweat. Our product, Jacob, will work on the sweat bees, any kind of insect. All insects produces a compound called octopamine. It's a real fancy word that simply means it's like a firing pin in the brain. See there, pop, 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 like this. And what our product does 100% naturally, no DEET, lasts up to 8 hours, is it blocks that signal from firing, shuts the insect down. It's almost instantaneous. So yes, it'll work. It does not matter if you're with elk because it kills human odor. You don't want an elk to smell you. You know, his nose is not as keen as a whitetail, but it's part of the deer family. Same way with a moose. Look, the way to look at this, you can use our scent defense 3-in-1 for any game you're hunting. Bear. You know, any kind of game that you don't want them to smell you on, and you still have the benefit of the attractant part, but you have the ability to also use it. Elk will come into the smell the same way that a whitetail will come in to the scent. But yes, it does work. Shuts them down almost instantaneous. And try it. Let us know. It's pretty neat to watch. All right. We got us another website question, another Fog Zero, and my gracious, old Matt from Windsor, Ontario, another Canadian question. And guys, we do appreciate it. And I know you think it's not fair because we sponsor 142 shows, Outdoor Channel, Sportsman's Channel, Pursuit, and Wild TV. And all you boys up there in Canada, you watching that Wild TV up there, which is primarily geared toward Canada, and you're seeing these products and all these commercials we're running. We do appreciate it. You're used to wanting to get in the stuff in the lower U.S. Up there, and so we're trying to get it up there, and we're in the process of you'll have it in 2016. Through Canadian Tire, Walmart, and other vendors up there. We don't always know everybody, Matt, who has it because we sell through distributors as well. A lot of Canadian independents will buy from U.S. distributors and bring it in. So, but here, Matt has a question. Can you explain to me what the Field 1 Optics treatment and cleaner is and what it does? Does it also stop lens or scopes from fogging up in the outdoor elements? It does exactly that. You want to know, is it the treatment and cleaner, what it is? I won't tell you what exactly our formula is, but I can tell you that it does exactly what you just said. It cleans the optic, and then it treats it to keeps it from fogging. And what's kind of unique with that, people ask all the time, well, how much do I need to put on there? How long, what all do I need to do with it? And it's sort of like layering it. obviously if you put it on once and you go out and it's raining, you want to retreat. But what's kind of neat about it is the more you use it, the kind of longer it'll last. So, I ain't crazy. If that common sense says that, he said, well, okay, I'm going to treat it a few times before I go out. But with an optic, for instance, scope, binocular, rangefinder, those are you're wanting to keep the dust off of it. I shoot a Trigicon scope, and I keep the flips on it to be able to keep the dust off of it. But even with that, you're walking, you're doing, dust gets on it. Of course, you don't want to wet the dust and create a film on top of that, so you want to get the dust off. That's the reason the pen also has a dust brush in it. That way you can blow it off, make sure you get all the dust off of it, right? You make sure you get all the smudges off of it, and then you can clean it with the solution, treat it with a cloth, all right? And look, somebody had told us not long ago, I don't know if it was on the show or at a show somewhere. Let me see if you can see it in there. You see that? It looks like a magic marker right here. Can you see the point on it? All right. What he was doing, he was taking the point and doing it like that. And he was literally trying to cover his entire glass on his glasses. And he said, man, that's great stuff. But he said, I'd make a suggestion. Oh, I know where it was. It was a hardware show a couple weeks ago. And he said, man, that's great. But he said, dog, he says, it took a long time for me to cover my whole glass. And he showed me how he was doing this. Man, turn that rascal flat, and all you got to do is just kind of do it across it a few times. You ain't got to cover the entire surface. You'll just see it go on and wet, and then you take it and take your lens cloth and you smear it all over the entire glass, just like you were to put Windex on it. And you clean it. Put it on both sides, clean it. You're good to go. It's not a complicated device, but my gracious, it will help you. There's not a person alive that's ever hunted, that's ever looked through something like that did not throw it up and could not see the deer, because that breath is going, that cold air and that condensation is hitting that scope, and it's fogging it up, and you can't see boo. So yes, it stops. You can use it on the lens and the scopes, and it's made for any outdoor or indoor. You could come from outside cold, indoor to heat. It's going to fog. Any extreme conditions, cold to hot, hot to cold, it's going to fog. All right. Let's see. Okay. We got us another website question, a top secret website question. Paul is from, where in the world is that? He's in New Jersey. He said that he has the reserve buck and several of the foams. Notice what he said. He's got the reserve what? Buck and several of the foam bottles. Can I store it in the off season in a small fridge in the garage? Mama says you can, you can. Wouldn't put it in the freezer. It's not going to hurt it to be in the refrigerator. If you keep it at room temperature, you should be fine. But if you've got a refrigerator that you can keep it in just regular temperature and hold that constant, all the better, all the better. Just don't go to the extremes. Don't keep it in the garage outside where it's hot. Don't put it in the freezer and freeze it. But you can keep it in the refrigerator. A lot of hunters, a lot of us has an old refrigerator outside in the garage somewhere that we keep our junk in. Mama's done ran you out of the kitchen and you got your own little spot. And but yes, that does help. Do I have to pump during storage? Here's what I like to do. I'm in and out of that refrigerator anyway, and I'll keep my pump, though I don't keep my pump in the refrigerator. I keep the urine pail with the pump on it, the plug in it. And every now and then, if I'm in there, I'll grab my pump and take it and just check my seal, because it will be hard to pump. So you just want, it doesn't hurt to check it, in the course of the year. As long as you keep it at a constant, you should be okay. Does it hurt to check it? We got a Facebook question here from Jackson Sims. Now listen, I know this place. Black River Falls, Wisconsin. I could tell you a story about that. Hey guys, I got 2 or 3 minutes to tell a quick story. Black Falls, Wisconsin. There's a little guy up there. I ain't gonna tell you his name because Black Falls is a small place. It's right there in Buffalo County and Oliva. And we were hunting, and actually, there's a boy that's in Oliva, and Mandovi. We were actually hunting in Mandovi, which is outside of Black River Falls there. And in Black River Falls, there's a taxidermy there. And that old boy, anyway, I missed a buck. I say I missed him. I didn't get a shot on him. He came in. I couldn't get around to get on him. I had to leave. Somebody else went in the following week. It was in November, and killed almost the new Wisconsin state record. Same buck was underneath me. And we had the buck in Vegas at the SHOT Show in January that, I almost called his name, that the taxidermist that lives there. Well, the story, I don't know if I can't, that's our show, we can say it. Old Buck was in Wisconsin, he was in Vegas. And, no, I better not tell that story either. Anyway, we know where Black River Falls, Wisconsin is, because if I tell you, you'll know who I'm talking about. All right, here's the question. What are the best tactics to hunt bucks during post-rut? Similar to the question that was asked earlier, you want to use your same tactics. Don't quit using your buck urine. Don't quit using the estrus. Once you come together, Jason, run them all the way. And guys, I don't know if you noticed back here in the control room, this is like the third Wisconsin question post-rut. Because like we said at the beginning of the show, you're at the top, Jason, of the mountain, right? You're here. I'm trying to find me on the show there. You're here. You're not way down here at the bottom of the mountain. You're still at the top of the mountain. You're just on the other side of the mountain. So you still got a lot of hunting, good hunting to go. And what I try to tell people is that in post-rut, some of them bucks at Wick Nocturnal, the pressure's off. A lot of guys just hunts the peak of the rut, so you got less pressure in the woods. You got less does, but you know some of the bucks are weary. Some of the bucks have been taken out of inventory because you've already taken a bunch of bucks. It's a good time to you're fighting the elements. Grant that of course you ain't had any cold weather up there right now, but you'll have some. And in the post rut, man, it's a great time to hunt. Get on the south side of those ridges there, where those bucks are yarding up. What you call yarding up, we call bedding down here, and you can still kill you a bunch of good bucks up there in Wisconsin. Same way, hunt post rut the same way you do pre rut, and grunt and rattle, tinkle the tines, pre, post. Not good for everywhere, but up there in Wisconsin, you can get away with it and get you a buck. He's going to circle downwind. All right. Well, we got another Facebook question here, and is that Beatty? Casper from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Do bucks bachelor up in December? You see me hesitate on this. As a general rule, no. But in December, you're in Iowa. You're not at the top of the mountain. You're about halfway down that mountain in post rut, and so and it depends on the buck doe ratio. You could be further down the mountain. So yes, you might see some starting to do that, but as a general rule, most of them is going to start doing that after they start dropping the horns, but occasionally you'll see some lesser bucks start getting together, and they're going to do it for several reasons. One of the reasons I just said in Wisconsin, Minnesota, you're going to have that snow comes in, that cold weather drops in, it stays in. Them bucks will start, those deer, not just bucks, deer, certainly bucks included in that, will yard up on the south side of those ridges there, getting out of that wind and cold, direct cold, and that's where you find a bunch of your sheds because they're yarding up and they're together. So some of that may be not so much that they're starting to run together as much as they're congregating together, and you'll have does and bucks together on the back end of peak of the rut. Pre-peak and post, so you're on the back end of the post-rut. All right. Let's see here, guys. Can we get us another one? Franklin from Seymour, Michigan. He wants to know, what deer scent should I use for late season deer hunting? Hey, good question, Franklin, and it's like dripping water. Buck and estrus, once you hit peak of the rut, buck urine every day of the year. Once you hit the peak of the rut, you take estrus, start using it, and you use it. I don't care if you're in, where you at, where's he out of? Michigan, if you're in Iowa, if you're in South Alabama, if you're in North Florida, it makes no difference. You use it all the way to the end of the season. The intensity will be buck-doe ratio and weather. So stay with it all the way to the end of the season. Literally, when I say the end of the season, I'm not talking about just gun or bow. I'm talking the last legal day that you personally can hunt in that given state. You want to use it all the way to the end. Okay, we've got a Patrick from Brandon, South Dakota. Another Facebook question. Do mock scrapes work in late season once post-rut is in progress? Yes. They're not as widespread. They're not as worked as heavily, or scrapes for that matter. But there's less activity. Bucks aren't just running. You know, they're not just doing that all over the place. Then as everything starts slowing down, they start checking stuff again. And because it's a post-rut, those does that get bred is going to come back in. And so they're trying to the pressure's on for those few does again. So you will see some. And once I hit a scrape, I'll keep that scrape going all through the hunting season. And guys, listen, if I kill Tom on a scrape, don't quit hunting it. That's good real estate, you know, location, location, location. The only reason that when I take Tom out, the only reason Chris sitting in there because Tom will kick his butt. No pun intended, because his father's son there. So it doesn't make any difference. You just keep hunting that area. It's a good area. It's the reason you see a rub scrape this year in an area. Where's the first place you need to make sure you're at next year? You're going to have the same, may not have the same buck because you took him out of inventory. But you're going to still have bucks work at, because geographically, landscape-wise, topography-wise, it's a good run. It's a good area, you know, whether between bedding and feeding or just security, water, all there together. Hunt it. Don't give it up. That's the reason, the number one thing to know about deer hunting, and I tell you all the time, is topography. Don't let that go past you. You got to know the lay of the land. You can sit over there and ain't no deer. I don't care what you pour out. There's nothing there to smell it. You got to get where the deer are and then know the property, the lay of the land. And if you understand a deer by nature is lazy, ears, eyes, nose, you know, he ain't going to go up the side of the hill. It's going to go in an angle on the hill. So if you understand all that, you can, like a predator, like a coat, you can lay an ambush for them. And you know, we're the head of the food chain, and we need to act like predators, which most hunters don't. That's the reason we do this show, Hunting the Rut Hotline. Learn how to be a predator. Okay, folks, listen. It's amazing. It is an hour go by quick, but let me tell you. Normally, we're here every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 52 weeks a year. And it's Tuesday, though. It's a couple days before Thanksgiving. We hope that you are thankful for everything that's going on in your life, your friends, your family, and you ought to be, and to be able to be blessed and live in such a great nation as we live in and have the opportunity to hunt and protect the great outdoors. That's what this show's for. Tell your friends, we'll see you next Thursday night on Hunting the Rut Hotline. See you then.